Alright everybody, hello, I am back. We're back on the F1 game. Who the bloody hell's excited? I bloody love Baku. Yes, that is the energy we need for today's video because it is a very, very exciting race. And I am of course lying. I had to cut out about 20 laps straight of this race. And it's only a 50% race. There's only like 30 laps in this. That's how much I had to cut out. But the laps I do keep in is actually pretty exciting. But anyway, we're at Baku, as I'm sure you've already heard, and seen by the thumbnail, and seen by the title. But yeah, a track I'm pretty good at, if we didn't get a lubrication system error. No joke made there, I'm sure. But yeah, I am for sure excited about this. So who else is? Come on. We apply our setup whilst we also change our gearbox, bring our fuel down to what feels like the most appropriate. To do an out lap, flying lap and in lap. And I don't think I'll make another change to the setup. We're staying at the tyre pressures for a bit too long. We don't change anything though. Go on to the lucky set of second soft tyres, and we're going out for our first qualifying run, of course skipping the time to wait for the gearbox to be changed, but hopefully that comes with good luck in the first qualifying lap. And as we come out of the pit lane, we cross the white line, so good start. But anyway, coming on to the flying lap, we can see the bottom four at the moment being Gasly, Hajar, Lawson and Behrman, and of course us, who hasn't set a lap yet, behind all of them. As we're coming down the main straight, 221 miles an hour as we hit the braking zone. It's a very good turn one. A little bit edgy on the curb, but as we complete the first sector, it's a 35.455. Very, very good first sector in my opinion. Into the middle sector, it's a 116.240, and coming down the main straight once again, using all the ERS, all the DRS, and we managed to get a 140.248, which sets us at 4th place and only 4 tenths behind second of George Russell, and I believe pole position is taken up by Max Verstappen. But anyway, on to the second and the final lap of qualifying. We've left ourselves with just 10 seconds to get over the line, which we do. And around turn 1, and already the car's just feeling a lot more connected. We're 4 tenths up as we come into turn 3, and Alex Albon's right there and he's hit the wall, and it's a very, very, very good evasive action from us to not collect the Williams on our front wing. But unfortunately in that, this final lap's not going to mean anything. We're already 5 tenths down after the first sector. I'll give myself credit where credit's due. That was very good avoidance of a collision, but also unfortunately it doesn't really mean anything for the qualifying lap. We still do find a 10th though as we're coming down the main straight. We were very quick in the middle sector, and considering the fact that we lost about 6 or 8 tenths in that first sector, it's only a dream of what could have been in that qualifying session, with a purple sector 2 and a green sector 3. We can only dream of what could have happened. But anyway, go on Crofty, take it away mate. I'm sorry for speaking over you.
So our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully out of the barriers. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Considering the rest of the grid, we have
so it was Charles who ended up getting pole. We actually were 4th, so someone's had a grid penalty there. And looking at a driver who's missing, I'm going to say it's Max Verstappen.
Crawford and Max Verstappen.
And it was Max Verstappen who's taken a penalty. It's actually pushed our teammate up to P9 as well, so that's good for the team.
And
I
Bortoletta.
don't think there's any more penalties
Albon.
so far. The grid looks
Gasly.
pretty normal. There could be one
Jack
lower
Doohan.
down there. Oh,
And
there's
Oscar
Piastri. I forgot about him. My
Hadjar,
bad, mate.
Lawson, Behrman,
And
Lewis
Hamilton as well. I forgot
rounds
about
off
2 of the
grid.
drivers.
And with lights out, just moments away, it's
How could
time
I
to go
forget
down
Hamilton
to the
or
track.
Piastri, man? Especially Piastri, but also... no, especially Hamilton, but also Piastri. We'll bring our fuel down to what is below to a single lap because we noticed that there is rain on the way halfway through this race. So we think, because obviously I'm going to be lifting a lot more in the rain, I see myself saving fuel. Might still be a bit of an overfuel, but oh well. And right now in the strategy is trying to make it so we could put on inters, but you can't actually do that. But we are doing the one-stop hards to inter tyres as soon as the rain comes. And hopefully a couple of the AI pit twice, so maybe we get a good jump. But here we go onto the formation lap then. What do the other drivers think? There's a lot of hard tyres, apart from the Williams who's taking the mediums, and Charles Leclerc on pole, who's looking to get a good getaway there. From pole position, run away from Russell, Norris, us and Tsunoda, and hopefully confirm a win. But is the mediums enough to take you to the wet weather? Or are you going to have to pit before that? And obviously AWS doesn't know there's rain on the way because they think it's a 2-stop or a 3-stop. And you're going to be sticking to the dry tyres. I wouldn't recommend that though. And I'm sure none of the other drivers are going to be thinking the same thing, but anyway. Pulling into the pit slots. There we see Tsunoda in front of us, behind us, sorry. But in front of us camera wise. And we see Hamilton lining up in last place there. And now the lights are starting to show. 3, 4, 5. And we are racing in Azerbaijan. And it's a better getaway than we've had the last couple of races. But we still have lost a place off the line to Yuki Tsunoda and already Lance Stroll. Already looking around the outside of us as we come around turn 1. It's an alright getaway from us. Only one position lost so far as we send it up the inside of Lance Stroll, and only a corner later Lance Stroll's going straight back at us around the outside, but we brake later than him with the inside line. Very, very close to the barrier as well, and we do get ahead of Lance Stroll at the end of lap 1 then. And a very boring rest of the first lap, but we see Norris and Tsunoda going wheel to wheel right in front of us. Maybe we can get a position out of this whilst they're battling. Not on that occasion. We couldn't slip past Yuki Tsunoda. And Yuki Tsunoda moves late to try and stop us from coming by, but we've still got a wheel planted to his rear wheel. We get a warning for a collision, and unfortunately we have to concede the place to Yuki Tsunoda at that time. As now we're coming down the back straight. I have no clue what was happening there. There was some proper lag. On lap 4 then Yuki Tsunoda and Lando Norris going wheel to wheel, and this time we managed to send it up the inside whilst they're wheel to wheel, and we do get ahead of Lando Norris, and now we're chasing down Yuki Tsunoda, but Lando Norris is coming back at us with DRS. We now get ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, and Lando Norris is ahead of us. We go into the braking zone wheel to wheel with Lando Norris for P3. Is it the final podium place for us? No, it isn't, because Lando Norris has managed to fight back, and he has the inside line and gets all over the curb and stops us from getting back ahead around the outside. As now we come into turn 5, and we're still behind on the exit of turn 6. Is it a better getaway from us? Yes, it is. We are way faster than Lando Norris. Coming down towards turn 7, we're down the inside. You never see any overtakes down here, but it's an overtake for us, and it is the podium place for Richard Verschoor. Lap 6 then. Now on the back of George Russell. We've already ran away from Tsunoda and Verstappen straight back with his teammate. And Lando Norris has had to concede a lot of places there. But the concentration is for who's getting the silver, who's getting the bronze in the DRS of George Russell is Richard Verschoor, using his battery as well. And he moves to the left hand side. George Russell blocks him off. He moves to the right hand side. It's a good old fake. But we get way too close to the barrier. It's very scary for us. And it allows George Russell to get back just a little bit. But is it enough as we defend that inside line with our life? And we do keep the place. It's P2 for us then, as there was a yellow flag behind. Lando Norris is out of the session. We saw him going slowly on the map in the corner. Because now we could cut to the external shot on lap 8, and oh, you just see us go around. It's unfortunate. And we concede the place to Yuki Tsunoda, to Max Verstappen, and to George Russell to keep the place, keep P5 at the moment. And at the end of lap 8, we pit in onto the wet intermediate tyres. It was the rain that caused a little bit of a spin on the rears, that caused us to go fully around. A nice little pirouette. So we decided at the end of this lap we're going to pit, and Charles Leclerc had the same idea as any other driver's going to come into the pits as well. Albon does, Bortoletto does. It's 2.4 for us, it's a very good pit stop. And all of the back markers decided to pit, but it's only out of us and Charles Leclerc out of front runners who do. And I must say, there is something very, very exhilarating out of being on wet tyres when everyone else is on dries, and just making all these easy moves. I don't know what it is about it. It feels like you're racing 0% AI, but you know there's still a challenge about it. As we move to the right hand side of Nico Hulkenberg, we just go off the track there. We get a track limits warning for it as well. And now we're chasing down Fernando Alonso, who had a bad getaway out of turn 13, I believe it is. And we get ahead of him as well. Lance Stroll, he's next up, and we easily overtake him as well. So we're straight back in the top 10. Only a lap after we've pitted. On the same lap that we pitted, sorry, and now everyone's deciding to pit except for Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who decided they don't want to double stack. So Max Verstappen being massively screwed over there by Red Bull, instead of Yuki Tsunoda being the one to pit. Yeah, it was Yuki Tsunoda. But there's a double stack from Mercedes. George Russell coming out 4th, Kimi Antonelli is a mile away. And on lap 16, we keep the 3rd place behind Tsunoda and behind Charles Leclerc. A VSC comes out because there is a V-carb on the exit of Castle Corner who is stopped. I didn't actually see the name that popped up on the top. And now we get to save some fuel. We're not going to go into lean because we know there is still 10 laps left. So we don't want to be carrying too heavy of a car, but we know we're still going to be lifting enough during the VSC, especially if we keep on getting these reduced pace warnings. We know we're going to be saving enough fuel into turn 4, and VSC is now ending. But first we've got to wait for our Delta to come back, and there it is, VSC ending, and we are straight back to racing. And we're only 3.7 behind Snowden, 7.4, 6.7 ahead of Russell. You can see why we cut out so much laps now onto lap 23. And Max Verstappen has massively caught up with us here. He's right in the back of us. And now he's wheel to wheel of us, and now he's ahead of us, and we decided not to use battery here. I think part of it was just the reason that we didn't realise someone was that close to us. But we do fight round the outside of Max Verstappen, round turn 1. Lap 24 now, we're still on the outside line. Max Verstappen on the inside. We pretty much fully shut the door on him. And surprisingly enough, he still goes for that move. I didn't think we left him enough room. Get massive amount of wheel spin out the exit of turn 2. And Max Verstappen now coming back at us again. And he does get ahead down in towards turn 3. Back on the inside of Max Verstappen. We bang wheels. It's a very aggressive battle here between the two Dutchmen. On lap 24 for the final podium place. And now Max Verstappen getting back ahead. He gets all over the curb and forces us to concede the position because of it. And now George Russell's caught back up. So it could be all the way down to P5, and oh yeah, what a move. We lost all grip there, and it actually turned into quite a good move. You can call it dirty, you can call it absolutely anything you want, but that felt like such a good move from us. And now onto the final lap. Charles Leclerc has won the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Yuki Tsunoda in 2nd place, but who's going to get that final podium place? Russell's 7 tenths behind. Max Verstappen's just over a second. And as we come down the main straight, we're using all the battery. We're using everything we can to keep that position. George Russell just struggling to keep up with us there. And we get that final podium position with Richard Verschoor. What a Baku Grand Prix. But of course, the rest in question. The ifs. If me aunt had balls, she would have been my uncle. What could have happened if we didn't have that spin on lap 12? What could have been? Now we get to see the podium places. We have a monogas. We have a Japanese driver. But I think the one we care about the most is the Dutchman, because it's not Max Verstappen, but it's Richard Verschoor. And there he is. I was waiting a bit though. It's not the regular Dutchman you see on the podium, but oh, it means so much. As we see Charles Leclerc celebrating. It's a very, very short Grand Prix. It wasn't really the most exciting Grand Prix, but you can't really complain when you get a third place in a team that probably doesn't deserve it. We get 8th and 11th in the standings, just 4 points behind Alonso is Crawford and 40 points behind George Russell is Verschoor. Antonelli has done well there to pretty much confirm his P9, and we're 5th place in the Constructors' Championship. It's going to be really hard to catch up in the Constructors. There was only 2 drivers that set a 143 there, and we were one of them. As we also get our advanced talks with Lando Norris, it could be the Falando team that we are hoping for next season. Not to put any disgrace on Richard Verschoor or Jack Crawford. I do love both the drivers. They've been such good help in this first season. But if we could have the Fernando matchup, it would be huge. He's expecting a 313 engineering workforce, a fan rating of 5, and a vehicle performance of 2nd place. I believe we can get all of them. The penalty won't be so bad if we don't know. I'm just curious, what is them stats? We're fan rating 3 for the moment, so that is pretty good. And now we just get to enjoy the music. What's the problem with that? We also get our Fernando Alonso talks, but his fan rating was 8 there. Jesus, the workforce is fine, but fan rating of 8 is fucking difficult, bro. The rest of it should be achievable. We not as high in the standings, whatever you want to call it, thing. I can't remember what it's called. And the workforce was lower than Lando's, but and that fan rating is insane. It's going to be really hard to get. So maybe Fernando isn't possible. But our next track is Singapore, a track which I'm pretty mid at. It is also a track I made my 2nd ever F1 video on. And we will be racing as the American Jack Crawford, who only has better in racecraft, but that does signify the end of the video. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Like and subscribe, especially subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like, come on, bro. If it's your first time here, please subscribe. Helps me out a ton. It does not affect you in any way if you do. So you may as well just, you should. But anyway, that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.